that you? Appears to be some kind of complication. I don't feel quite the same today. What's gone on with me? I feel shorter in height. I know Maria said 6'2" is a problem, but I didn't think it was going to resolve to this. What's happened to me? I also feel very hungry as well. I feel a little bit more hairy in certain areas, like on the top of my head. I'm a little bit perplexed, and I don't mean perplexed TV, Jim Terry. I'm just confused as to what's happened. Do any of you know? Like, I can't seem to find a reflection or mirror of me at this moment in time. And I keep making such strange sounds. I don't know what's wrong. And it appears to be something dangling behind me as well. Seems to be bigger in size than before, more loose. My tail, why is it there? I don't know. Let me get a little bit closer though. Okay, I'm here now. So, do any of you know what's happened? I'm really confused. Wait, what's that? Is that a horse? Have I turned into a horse? Nay. What's happened to me? Why am I becoming this? No, wait, no. Was it you, Misty? Did you read the spell book wrong? Did you turn me into a horse? Oh no. What am I gonna do? Can anybody help me? Glitter Galaxy, I heard that you had some kind of, was it sheep or goat in your kitchen? Do you have space for a horse? Where shall I go? Can you feed me, please? Okay, so I don't know what was going on there. A little bit wild, but that aside, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome to this live premiere if you're currently here. I appreciate it, okay? As we do go along, you can share your thoughts, opinions, reactions, etc. in the live chat on the right-hand side, okay? And yeah, where do we start? Well, we are definitely getting into Dylan Rounds. We are actually looking at a new update by Candice Cooley. We'll see what that's all about. It's on Facebook, a new post, and there are new images to look at as well and analyse. Okay, so we'll see what it's all about, okay? I'll give you my thoughts, opinions. We'll look into it as deep as possible. We'll even check the comment section out as well, see what people have said there too, okay? And then if there is time, I think we should go back on that forum and I can just like glance through it from page to page. There's 24 pages, but technically 23 because we already looked at the first one in the past. It don't mean to say I'm going to read everything in the forum. I might just glance through it, but I just want to fill in any blank patches, just in case there's misinformation or if it's correcting something, a backstory behind someone within the case. It might help me, it might help you, and it also provides a time just to sit there and listen if you want to, you know, because at that point in the video it'll be text. If you're busy doing something, you can just listen on in like an audio book, okay? I'm thinking of everything, aren't I? And as well, it provides a space and time for people just to randomly talk in the chat, okay? Before we get to that though, got a few little bits and bobs to get through as well. Also, in my previous video, I did a response to Gorilla Jack. Now, I don't know where he's gone. He seems to have disappeared. Do any of you know where he is? His videos have disappeared, and so has his channel. Typed in Gorilla Jack and it doesn't seem to exist. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe he's packed up He's already gone to Uganda awaiting that banana. And maybe his channel, his videos might show up again after, once he comes back from his holidays. That's a possibility. But let me know your thoughts down below. Have you seen him? Did you know his channel just disappeared? Has he changed his username? Leave your thoughts down below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to check my previous video I did as well, and the one before that. There'll be a link down below in the description. Make sure to watch that after watching this one, okay? Also, in my community tab on my channel, make sure to head on over there afterwards and list your thoughts and suggestions to the question provided, okay? See what interesting things people have in mind, and I might even take a look at them as well, okay? Is there anything else? Yes, we need to look at a comment first, okay? Sometimes I just do it randomly, okay? It is related to the Dylan Rounds case. I'll show you a comment from a bit of a prat, and you can share your own thoughts, opinions and reactions to them of what they've had to say recently. Let's head on over now. Okay, so here we are. Less about me and that weird attire. Oh my God, we're breaking the fourth wall. Is Raf doing a video within a video in a video, reacting to a video? My God, I cannot keep up. Anyway, less of that. We focus more on this recent comment as an example and demonstration. Now, basically, in short, you get default profiles at times. Some of them are genuine. They simply watch on YouTube and have no interest in making videos themselves. That makes sense. And then you get other people that have default profiles who whinge, whine, complain, who don't contribute whatsoever, i.e. in terms of content. And it's like, well, just shut that mouth, sit back down, okay, detention for you. There's different ranges of people. Okay, we'll just read this comment out. So this one called No Strith the whatever says, it's not helpful in the slightest, and it always debases into creators causing drama between each other. Duty Ron is the only person that conducts himself respectfully. You could learn a thing or two from that man. Well, this is the thing. Duty Ron? I don't know how you say it. Do you say duty or do Americans say duty? I'm not quite sure. But some of you would have heard of Duty Ron, okay? Can't remember exactly what position, but he's like a retired police officer or detective within the police force, whatever it may be. So he's been there. He would have seen how things go, would have been hands-on. So he can provide his own perspective when it comes to the Dylan Rounds case, which is a good thing, different perspective. He can give his thoughts and opinions. And it might be true that Duty Ron has experience and he knows how to conduct himself in an interview. He might be respectful. But what does Duty Ron lack? Consistency, frequency in terms of keeping the case alive. You know, Duty Ron isn't uploading video after video, day after day about Dylan. No, it might be the odd bit of coverage, the odd interview when a family reaches out to him, and then in between he'll cover other cases. That's normal. That works for him. But he lacks in the consistency field. Whereas someone like me, right, with the odd bit of lightheartedness in between, which works for some people and definitely does not for others, such as this as an example, it breaks it up. Instead of it being all dull and dark, you kind of open it up. Best example to compare, you look at soldiers in war, could be Iraq, Afghanistan, and they're still making jokes as bombs are being blown up around them. It's the only way. It helps, right? So that's one thing. As for the consistency part, I have made 152 videos on Dylan Rounds for over 3.5 months, approaching 4 months. That's how many videos have been made. And the importance of that, partially by me doing what I've done, And then at some point, Salty Pancake's doing what he's done, whether some people agree or not. And then some of the other YouTubers in between, for example, like with me, being consistent, talking about the case nearly every day, it's helped keep the case alive. It's helped keep Dylan's name being out there instead of fading away. Or at least preventing it from fading away on certain platforms, right? You take away all of my videos and some of the others, you'd basically get maybe 1 or 2 videos a month. You know, it's a big downgrade. And the key thing is, by covering the case, keeping it somewhat active and alive, whether it be for a couple of days, a week or 2, or even a few months, up until that real update, that official report is dropped, right? You've seen it, where even Candice Cooley has highlighted it, how it's like a cliffhanger, you know, oh, it's gone all quiet, and then out of nowhere, there's an update on a cliffhanger, but then what? Waiting to see what happens next, which could be a couple of weeks' time or a month. It would get very dull, it would get very dead and quiet. So by filling it in between, whether it's going over stuff, referring back, exploring new angles and perspectives, it all helps in some way. This individual on screen fails to understand that. We just briefly take a look at the profile. I don't know if that's a custom edited photo of Doug from No Thanks, filtered to make him look younger or not, possibly. 0 content on the channel, that's to be expected from a whinger and whiner. As for the About section, 2022, so it could be, it's fresh, which means possibly straight from the kitchen, okay? Linda, it looks like you didn't cook it long enough. It's still walking around. Fuck, it's raw, guys. And yes, I know, so is that impression. It's still shit. But maybe I'll get there. So you get the idea of certain people and the profiles, right? That's, I just wanted to randomly highlight it because sometimes I do it from time to time when it comes to comments, silly ones, right? The next thing that needs to be done is Misty did request to be whipped. Misty, are you there? What's that? So I couldn't quite hear you. Can you please open the door and come out from the bedroom now? Hurry along, Misty. Haven't got all day. Okay. Now, I guess it's time. Once again, if anybody else has request, if anyone else wants to be whipped, whether it's gentle or hard, whatever it may be, feel free to leave a comment down below in the live chat and I can note you down on the list. And then your name can be added to the endless list of this whip. Why am I stroking it? Because it's very smooth, okay? At some point it may no longer be smooth if it's used long enough, but I'm sure there are products to fix it, okay? So Misty, you're in front of me right now. How do you want to be whipped? From the front, side, back? Do you want to lay down? Oh, you do? Okay. Not done that before. Okay. So, you lay down now. Okay. Yes? Are you ready? Turn around. Okay, are you laying completely flat on the ground? Okay, you're kind of like, how would you describe it? Like a dog. That sounds very rude, apologies, but how else do you describe it? Apologies. Okay, so Misty, on the count of 3, you're gonna get whipped, okay? You did say you wanted it hard, so that's what you'll get, okay? Are you ready, Misty? 1, 2, 3. Yeah? Did you like that? Okay, I'll give... How many more do you want? Do you want a lot of whips? Do you want rapid fire whips? Or should I just make it up myself on the spot? Okay. Come here, Cleo. Stop running away on your hands and knees. Stay right there so I can aim. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Give you another one. Oh, yes. That was right on the spot. One more. Yeah. Come on. You like that? Okay. Oh, a bit harder now. Yeah, more. You like that? Is it good enough? Is there enough power behind it? Yeah? Okay. More? You want more? More? Come on, Misty. Come on, Misty. Come on, calm down. Calm down. You're going to wear this belt out quicker than anybody else has. I'll even do an underarm one. Wow. Wow. It's looking very red now, just like the colour of this smooth quilt. So smooth, Misty. Very smooth. Is that good enough now? What's that? Oh, you want more? Well, let's save it for next time, okay? I'll give you a tiny little one, okay? Yeah? There you go. Hopefully that was good enough for you, Misty. Hopefully you enjoyed that. As said, for anybody else who wants it, feel free to leave a comment in the live chat, okay? And it will be completed. As for anyone joining right now or a few seconds before wondering what the hell's going on, it's a piece of art, an expression of many emotions, okay? So let's put that all aside, including the gorilla, wherever he may be at. And I think we should head on over now to the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page and see what Candice Cooley has had to say in this new update. Right, so here we are. As you can see, Candice Cooley posting directly to Find Dylan Rounds 15 hours ago, official. There appears to be photos as well. We will look at those shortly afterwards, just get a hold of them more clearer, more zoomed in, and see if it reveals any other interesting locations, okay? Let's just click this so we can view it all. So Candice Cooley says, "We know everyone wants an update, and I promise as soon as we have something that can be released, we will do it immediately." Okay? So what you're seeing from Candice Cooley is a level of openness, but also some form of control and sense of holding some stuff back. But in terms of how it's been worded, it looks as if they haven't found anything yet. Just from the way it's been worded. You know, as soon as it says, as soon we have something. I guess you can interpret it differently. In terms of maybe evidence, leads, which don't have to be kept a secret. That type of stuff has not been found yet by Candice Cooley. But I guess in a way, you could still think maybe something has been found, but it's behind the scenes and it can't be released. I'll just read it one more time, right? Just so there's no confusion. "We know everyone wants an update, and I promise as soon as we have something that can be released, we will do it immediately." So they may have found things, some kind of evidence, but they're not allowed to show it publicly, which is understandable. We've seen how things have gone. It still shows that despite the way things have gone in the case, the supposed bad treatment which Candice Cooley experienced from the police, she still holds it together in terms of not blabbing about all the important information, which, might need to be restricted for a certain amount of time. Okay. Now, we might as well just bring a very brief question up right now to see what you think. Although, how should I word this? Maybe we could follow it up with 2 polls. Which one should I do first? Right, I'll do a new poll first of all. So, whilst the LE have been quiet for almost 6 weeks now, as described by Candice Cooley, they've not jumped in, they've not assisted, but at the same time, they've not tried stopping things from happening. They've kept quiet and they've been submissive. Do you think in that time, including up to now, do you think that Box Elder County Sheriff's Office have played any part, participated in trying to solve the Dylan Rounds case, work on evidence, work on the case in some way, cooperating, interviewing Brenner? Do you think the LE have done any of that in recent time, secretly, quietly, behind the scenes? Do you think that? Or do you think they've just done absolutely nothing and they're just focusing on easier things and other stuff? I want to know your thoughts down below. It's worth asking, see what people think. I know the odd person has brought up saying, but could there be a possibility that the police have spoken with Brenner? I mean, you never know, right? If wild things can happen in this case, then other, possibly you could say, positive things could happen too. It's just a matter of time and we might find out eventually, okay? Let's continue reading. Candice Cooley then says, please trust when we say we will never give up and there are things going on we cannot announce at this point. Being back on Dylan's farm is always emotional for us. Today I took a minute and looked around. I looked at it like how Dylan has always talked about it. The wide open, clear skies, clean air and quietness. Today I seen what he always describes. Take a minute and look, you will see it also. Okay. So I guess the bit that stood out there was when she said, please trust when we say we will never give up and there are things going on we cannot announce at this point. Well, I don't know why you've got to say trust that we'll never give up. I mean, it seems kind of normal to keep on trying, not giving up, especially if it's someone who's close or family. You don't give up, right? So it's not like a surprise there, so I don't know why it was worded in that way. But the bit about where it says there are things going on we cannot announce at this point, what do you think that's to do with? Like, is it to do with the Equisearch K9 unit recently? Did they find something? Is it still to do with the wash and ongoing investigation? Is it to do with the police in any shape or form? Any suspects? Brenner? Wadsworths? Who knows? It's when you read it like that, it's a bit of a guessing game. It kind of makes sense, but let's just take a brief look back, okay? So, you think about it. The way it's been worded seems very similar to how it was worded in the past. I think that's when we first heard about it on the East Idaho News channel. I can't remember if it was the first, second, or third one they did, the interview. But in one of them, Candice Cooley roughly said the same wording of, there are things going on which we can't reveal at this moment in time. And I believe back then, what Candice was referring to was possibly the phone being found in Lucin Pond, maybe. The key fob and gun being returned back at the trailer. That sort of stuff that couldn't be talked about was eventually talked about at a later date. The same could happen here. Whatever's going on probably will be revealed down the line, right? you see a little pattern. How long would the wait be? Maybe a month or two. That's what I'd say. Maybe a month at the least when it could be revealed. And, the rest of that post is just talking about reflecting on Dylan and how Dylan viewed the place. As I said, we can take a look at the photos in a second. Is it possible to check the comments out? I'm not too sure. It'd be good if so. I hate it when that sticks up. Let's just see what people have had to say. View previous comments. How many comments are there? Oh, what, was it like 100 or something? Well, there you go. Here are all of them. Oh, Candice Cooley, I think of you often. I pray you get answers sooner than later. So, it's just like levels of support here, but we'll just read through it in case there's any interesting points. Yeah, prayers, yeah. If there's anyone that's left a comment you know of, shout out to them, I guess. What's that? I can just feel the quiet. It's good to hear there are things going on. I visited the desert one time in Nevada and I remember that feeling. Glad that you were able to go visit Dylan's farm and experience this. We love you and we are here waiting patiently for any news. Okay. What's this one? Krista says, Candice and Justin, thank you for the update. Now we are praying alongside you. Dylan will come home and I so pray soon. I'm just in awe that a young man like Dylan had such an amazing work ethic at such a young age. You all should be proud of these pictures, just put into perspective what he loved and had a desire to farm, right? Same, it's like the similar comments, right? I was just wondering, like, would anything show up, any questions? Standing in Dylan's paradise, it's the not knowing where he is and looking around at the vast land that would be heartbreaking, soul-destroying factors, especially the deafening silence, as they say. I still pray that Dylan comes home where he belongs. Now, in terms of these comments where they're saying, hope and pray that he comes home, do they mean comes home, and how do I say it without it sounding too dark? Do they mean like he comes home alive or come home in a coffin? Like, I don't know, it's just the way it's worded. I mean, regardless of the outcome, you want to find him just to bring closure. Like, you've heard it and seen it with many missing people cases. Even when it's like 7-8 years on, people are still desperate to, find answers. So then you don't have to keep thinking every day. Oh, what's this one? Jean Mackenzie says, Candice, has any survey been done at Devil's Playground? I have been there so many times and I know of deep washes, soft sand, lots of pinions and juniper trees. It is on the north side of the highway, mile marker 25. I think it has been many years ago when I was there. I pray for you and your family. Okay. Now, I'm sure Candice would have heard of Devil's Playground, I assume, or maybe Justin has, because if you remember, Devil's Playground is the place where not only did Lance and Ty, or at least Lance, visit and have a look around, but it was also where that poster was, which you can see on Google Earth. The missing, well, it's not the missing poster, it's more of an alert poster announcing to hunters that when out in the area, be on the lookout for Dylan. You remember that poster? It had a bit of an orange colour tone to it. If you want to check it out, go onto Google Earth, type in Devil's Playground, click on the name of it. Should have a drop-down box or something which opens a new tab into the photos, what people have uploaded themselves. And if you scroll across, you eventually come across the photo of Dylan as a poster. So that's interesting. So this person's saying that there are deep washes there. I mean, do you think that Brenner would drive all the way to Devil's Playground? I mean, we could do like a brief poll, right? Okay, some people have been there. didn't find anything like Lance, but how deep did they search? Would you need to use a more advanced equipment, like how they've done recently, maybe, and like the K9 unit, possibly? So yeah, as for the poll, I'll just word it as, do you think Dylan is at Devil's Playground? If there are washes there where you could dispose of someone, do you think that's the place where Dylan was taken? Yes or no? And if you're kind of unsure, do you just at least feel it's worth investigating, checking out, or at least checking out again with newer equipment? You know, giving it, instead of a once over, having a second opinion, a second look at it. Leave your thoughts down below. Anything else here? What's that? Don't worry. Release info only as you see fit. Yep. Okay. Just a random question. That probably would never happen anyway. Is there... Actually, how else would I say it? No, because it probably wouldn't show up. Is there anyone in the chat right now, in the live chat, that is a part of this page? Aside from Joy Perry, because I did see Joy Perry in that comment section that one time, and then she showed up in my live chat. So shout out to Joy Perry. But is there anyone else right now who is a part of this page? Let me know down below. Okay. Anything else here? It seems to be the same stuff. I thought there might have been like someone asking the odd question or something. I haven't seen it can be found. Yeah. Every day come on here praying for news. Yeah. What's this one? Kathy Williams. Our ranch looks similar. No one understands the beauty and solace there unless you live there for a while. How I have regretted not allowing Dylan to rent our place when he asked. Oh. Okay, this is interesting. What is this? Kathy. Our ranch looks similar. The old Garrett place, north of TL Bar. No one understands the beauty and solace there, unless you live. How I have regretted not allowing Dylan to rent our place when he asked. I'm so sad for you and Justin and all you have been through over this. Is this true? So Dylan Rounds wanted to rent that place out of Kathy Williams. Kathy Williams has a ranch. Dylan Rounds wanted to rent it. That's interesting. Now, when was this? Was it a few months? Well, months before Dylan went missing? Was it a year before that? Was it before Dylan went into Lucin? I don't know. We need to ask these questions. Kathy Williams, if you're watching right now, feel free to elaborate if you want. Or if there are any people who are a part of the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page members in this chat right now, maybe send her a message and see what she says. There's a couple of questions. Interesting. Like, if Dylan wanted to rent out this ranch, part of the land, in the past before going to Lucin, then that might have stopped Dylan from, sticking to Lucin in that specific area. It might have prevented him from going missing. If he chose a different direction, a different focus area, if he had the chance and opportunity, he might still be alive to this day. It's a dark way of looking at it, but that's one way, right? Interesting. Did any of you know about this before? Now, there'll be certain information which is still out there. There may be stories people can tell about Dylan. First-hand experience, maybe. I guess it's just like whether you hear it or not, because Candice Cooley, and maybe Justin at times when it's come to certain information, You know, they said, no, it's irrelevant. No, it doesn't really need to be talked about much. The end. And you never find out. Even if it was small information, it could be unimportant to them, but it might be important to someone. It might help resolve something. You know what I'm saying? There was one individual. I don't know if it's the same person, to be honest, now, unless it's a different username or last name. I think there was another Kathy who's watched my videos, but it begins with a K instead. K for Kathy. And they said they were in the presence of Dylan Rounds in the past and Candice, which is interesting. If you have any interesting stories or additional info which could fill in the gaps or explain certain behaviour or anything like that, feel free to list it down below, Kathy. Okay, Kathy with a K. So see, these little bits of info which are just popping out of nowhere. Anything else? Oh, Candice Cooley replied to this one. Here we go. My heart breaks for you, Candice, Justin family. Being there and even seeing the pictures is seeing and feeling Dylan's heart. It's past time for Dylan to come home. Box Elder's last update almost came off as if they were the victim. It sickened me. I'm so sorry you all more than likely listened to that. My neighbour in Las Vegas put a sunflower in his yard the other day for Dylan. Candice Cooley replies, they truly want to paint us as the bad guys, as if we are doing something wrong in demanding they do their job. Thank you for the support, we truly appreciate. I mean, you'll get some people doing a witch hunt on Candice Cooley. Then you'll get other people that are just misinformed, or people misinterpreting something. You know what I'm saying? There's like different levels and tiers. You got the hard-line haters of Candice Cooley and Justin. Then you've got the people who are on the wrong path because of listening to the wrong information or being brainwashed or something being misinterpreted, if it's been explained poorly. And that's even directly from Candice Cooley herself, because sometimes she has worded things a bit confusing. So at times it's bound to make people a little bit funny in responses and behaviour and how they act and trying to make sense of it inside of their head, right? Then obviously you'll get the people that support her neutrally, naturally. But then you'll get the other extreme opposite of the hard-line supporters of Candice Cooley, which becomes unnatural and maybe a bit biased. That's why the neutral supporters of the family are better, because they're more balanced, right? The hard-line supporters of Candice Cooley or Justin family, whatever, they could do irrational things or act out in a biased way. So it can get a little bit messy at times. Now, what do you think? Do you think that Candice Cooley is correct in saying that people are trying to paint her in a bad way? Okay, we'll do a poll right now. Let's say if you're a bit wary of Candice Cooley, or you've questioned her at times, or you've got a bit of a certain opinion about it. Do you think people externally are painting Candice Cooley and maybe Justin in a bad way, painting them as a bad picture? Or do you think they're doing it to themselves? They brought it upon themselves, how they've acted, what they've said, what they've released. Which way do you slant towards? External, internal, okay? Make sure to answer the poll again. Anything else here? Have they used LIDAR? Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means, but I did see it in one of my videos in the comment section very recently. It might have even been in the live chat, okay? I know one person did. Have they used LIDAR? Now, is that an abbreviation or not? LIDAR. It might recognise disturbed dirt like a grave. And then Lorray has replied saying, I believe they have. Well, if it's to do with disturbed dirt, Well, I thought that's what the full spectral drone did in the sky, takes photos of the ground and looks for soil disturbance, and it's analysed through that program software. Is that what LIDAR is, or is this another method? Is this more on-ground equipment? I'm not quite sure. What could it mean, LIDAR? Laser something? No, I'm not even going to try and come up with it because it might not even be an abbreviation. Leave your thoughts down below. Have you heard LIDAR before, and what does it mean? The Lucin sunsets are even better, okay? Oh, what does this person say? Cindy. This is a different Cindy, okay? We have property on the other side of Highway 30. It is one of my happy places, the solitude and quiet there. Hard to imagine unless you have spent time there. The landscape is beautiful. You can see it forever. Every time we are there, I think of Dylan. I understand the love for his place. Yep. Very peaceful. Candice Cooley, what was he grown to grow there? I see the sprinklers. She says something about the crop named on last photo. Okay. Yeah. What's this? Prayers, yeah. I said you can share your thoughts in the chat right now and just talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going through this briefly to see if anything stands out. What's this one? Karen. Did any of his seed that he planted grow and get harvested? It looks so desolate out there. Nothing like dark, rich dirt for growing crops. Is that dirt white with alkali, like the Great Salt Lake? Under the pivot showed no sign of a crop. I know you were kind of busy, so the crops were not first priority. So sorry, I wish you could have had his first crop, even though he wasn't there to harvest it. Oh, Joy Perry. Joy Perry is back. Okay, let's read what she has to say. Candice and Justin, many comments are pointing at the biggest liar in the town of Montello. With his family, you know who he is, and you won't admit that he's involved. I'm sorry. The person in jail did not do this by himself. He had help by the other two people that work for Dylan. You know who they are. Basically referring to Don Hately and I believe Kurt Wadsworth. He's the same person that had the key fob and put it back when he called you and Justin to tell you that Dylan was kidnapped. He sent you the wrong direction on purpose. And did it ever cross your mind that he's involved? Many towns people have stated that your son spent a lot of time at the saddle saw. I have copies of all those statements, and people have said since Dylan said missing, that person that I'm talking about, his whole family is trouble and they're evil. God bless you and your family. I wish you can get the person in jail to tell you who else was involved. He didn't do this by himself. So that's by Joy Perry. And what I will say is, everybody get your blessings ready. Joy Perry typed in a long, coherent paragraph, and I was able to understand it all. So that's good. That's positive. Okay. Let me know your thoughts down below in the chat to what you think about this. Comment. Do you agree or disagree? Yeah, I can't really say too much because I haven't got much to say at this moment in time. The bit about Don, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he's involved in some way. And with him moving away, it makes it seem a little bit more dodgy and suspicious. As for Kurt, I mean, it's kind of hard in a way. Like, there might be certain moments where he appears very suspicious and dodgy. Other times where maybe more at the start you might have thought, no way, not possible. If he hung out with Dylan, there's no way you'd do that to him. Like, if they're good friends, it wouldn't make sense. And if Kurt was getting emotional at some points and stuff and getting defensive and trying to defend Dylan, it wouldn't seem likely. But then, with time and information switching and changing and people saying that Kurt has changed the story in recent time with certain bits of information or how things unfolded. It does make you like second guess, question. You know what I'm saying? Anything else? Yeah. Not much else here. I don't know how many comments there were. Did it say there was like 150? Damn. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. There we go. Final one. We'll just read the last comment. Ginger says, I'm just so amazed with the strength that Candice and Justin have. I want you both to know there are a lot of people out there that have a lot of love in our hearts for both of you. Please never forget that we are there right by here by your side, and we're claiming Dylan Rounds our family also. Okay, so there you go. There's a couple of interesting comments and bits of information. You know, maybe take a look at it in the future or question it yourself, etc. So aside from the fact I look like I'm being held hostage all of a sudden, I'll keep quiet, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. No, I won't give it away. What we will do now is take a look at the photos taken by Candice Cooley, see where the locations are at. If you leave your own thoughts, see if there's anything of interest within them. Okay, let's head on over now. Here is the first image. As you can see, these are the latest images to date regarding the search for Dylan Rounds and his area in Lucin, the farmland. We'll try and make sense of the locations of them. Bear in mind, I'm not an expert when it comes to boots on ground footage because I've not looked at too much. I've mainly been looking at the maps, but maybe you may know better. When looking here in the distance, you see mountains, which most likely is looking towards the Nevada, Montello, border you're crossing on over, right? I think there's another snapshot where we look at a different angle. You look at the ground, first and foremost. Bear in mind, apologies if the ratio isn't quite fitting the screen. It's just the way the camera shot was taken, vertical instead of horizontal, okay? But I can zoom on in. It appears to be more blurry this time compared to the previous photos, maybe different device used, mobile phone instead of a camera on this occasion, maybe. There's Candice Cooley describing it as she was stood around taking it in, just looking at the area how Dylan would. So you get that idea. When looking at the ground, for the most part of it, it's dry, it's cracked. You got this vegetation growing. Is it sage, like some kind of bush growing, patches of it, as you see, and also in the distance too. Any footprints? Can't really see any, or track marks. I wonder if that to the right is to the grain shed. Maybe. Looking this way, you see more of the dryness. There's some little patches there. Do you know those dark little patches? Almost like a small little mound. When you get that, is it like different types of dirt? Was it filled in like a hole, or is it just natural? Why are some darker areas than others? Or is it just because it's wet, damp? I'm not an expert with all that stuff, okay? More vegetation as you see on the angle. That does look like a road. So I assume on the right is... When I say on the right, I mean off camera must be the grain shed from that angle. And as you see in the distance, you do see more of the mountains. And I think Pilot Peak is the one over there. That's the tallest one on that mountainous border area. As you see, zooming in, you can see the whiteness, which is the snow. And obviously different areas of the US differs from one another in terms of temperature, weather, such as Glitter Galaxy publicly said in the last live chat that in New York, very heavy snow, hard to move about and handle, okay? But this is the thing, don't use salt and grit to get rid of ice and snow. Does salt melt ice? Salt and grit, I'm sure. Well, that's the case. Hello? Look who's present, or look who was present recently. Salty Pancakes. I'm sure he's got enough salt to get rid of all that snow and ice.
glitter galaxy, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. This is what I mean. You know, in a way, glitter galaxy can save Christmas. Can't you, glitter galaxy? You can save Christmas. If for whatever reason Santa and his little crew of elves are a bit ill or they can't get the job done, all you have to do, glitter galaxy, is just get your dolls to go off, dress up as an elf, and go out and start making the presents. So, you know, it's all under control. It'll be all fine. Okay? Yeah? Good. But yeah, looking at this image, you see the contrast, right? It's not a shock to some people, right? If you're in an area, you see the peaks ahead, you see the mountains, where it's going to be colder, where the weather hits it more, you'll see the snow, right? Even like with rain in certain areas in the UK, you could see a car off in the distance. The closer it gets, it's wet, and it's like, oh, it's wet, but it's not wet here. It's because of where it came from, way over there in the distance. In the distance, temperature and weather can be different compared to where you're stood right now. And this is a more extreme example of it, as you can see. It might be somewhat warmish here, maybe a little bit colder to the people that actually live there or nearby. But for most part of it, you look at the ground, it's dry, pretty dry. And then over there, looks fairly bleak, right? If anyone's watching right now from Montello, how is the weather at the moment? Has it got any better? Is it still snowing on lower ground, or is it in the mountainous area only? Leave your thoughts down below. Move on to the next image. Now, I don't know what that is over there. Is it the grain shed? It's just because on the left-hand side there seems to be a few like dark patches, unless they're trailers. If there were trailers, that would make sense. If it was to do with the EquiSearch K9 unit, that recent search, because Candice Cooley did say in that live video interview on Doug's channel was that they brought trailers down, RVs, to stay in for the 6 days whilst they were out there. So if these photos are a continuation from that, that explains those darker objects in the distance over that way. If not, then I'm not quite sure. But that definitely looks like the grain shed from the shaping of it, because I don't know what else is present, right? If for whatever reason I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, okay? With the grain shed being on that side though, you're coming in from the other way, just like Salty Pancakes did in his video, if you remember. You look at the ground here, you see a bit more vegetation. Looks like the ground's been disturbed a little bit where it's darker. I might be wrong, you got like a little mound of dirt and it looks a bit black compared to where it's light coloured elsewhere, you see? You can see the track marks faintly. Can you see it? Middle of the screen at the bottom, it's like lines going across. And you see bits of it in the distance. So that's mostly caused by them with the recent searches. That seems to make sense. Candice Cooley hasn't mentioned anything about any other weird track marks showing up. So that kind of clears that one up on the spot. Anything else of interest? Well, it looks a bit bumpy, the ground. You know, you got these like little puddles. So although the rest of the ground might look dry, as I said, and cracked, you got these like little puddles filled with water. So it must have rained recently, if I'm correct in saying, because water just doesn't show up like that. Unless it was near a pipe or a leaking pipe, but I don't think it is there. Okay? Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you see anything odd, anything at all in these images? The reason why I say is because sometimes surprising things can happen when you look back at footage. There you go, that's another angle looking all the way down. Yeah, you can see the ground looks ridged. It doesn't look as smooth now, does it? It looks disturbed from like vehicles going over it. and then holes being made or dips in the ground as you look around. There you go. And then this one's interesting. This is of the pivot. Okay. Some people seem to get very strict when it gets to this location, or it be referring to it, describing it, or if you make an error with it, it's like, how could you mess with the pivot? Get it right. And it's like, calm the fuck down. Now with the pivot, does this photo and this one, same location, are these to do with the main line? I think I said that correctly. When I say main line, it's like referring to what Justin Rounds said. You remember that Facebook post by Justin Rounds calling Don Hately out, saying, yeah, come out here, bring your gay son with you and your whole family, meet me at the main line. Was it main line? Is that the correct wording? If that's it, is this the example, the location? I know some people were saying about near to the pivot that the ground needs digging up. Is that right? Is that what people were talking about? Some were saying that it was already, but not enough. People saying more needs to be done. Do you agree with that? Do you... I'll do a poll right now. This pivot on screen, the land nearby surrounding it, is there any importance, significance to it? Does it need further investigation or not? Leave your thoughts. Look at the pivot itself and the distance it reaches. That's quite a stretch, right? It is quite a stretch. And I'm sure you would have seen this one, if I'm correct in saying, in Dylan Round's TikTok account, one of his videos where he was there later on at night. You saw the sunset, purpley sky in the distance, and the sun. And he was just like looking around, and he showed the mountains in the distance as well. So I guess that's what Candice Cooley was doing herself, reflecting on the land like how Dylan did, observing. Now you look at the ground itself, this area is where crops would have been grown, right? That's the whole point of having a pivot here. Does it look like anything has grown? Yes or no? What you must take in mind is at a certain point crops were developing, but most of the focus, if not all of it, such as with the family, they don't live here, so they can't maintain it, the farm. They've got their own responsibilities, and on top of that, the main one, finding Dylan. So I guess if anything did grow, any crops, if they were fully developed or just, appearing in the ground, they just wouldn't have been maintained and gone to waste, right? Do you know anything about any of the crops being salvaged in any shape or form? Is that possible or not? Because I don't know. I mean, it does look pretty dry, except for these little patches. Yeah, you don't see as much there. So these little patches, puddles, has this got anything to do with that pivot, piping under the ground, anything like that? Or is it just simply a puddle? The only reason why I say that is because I know some people were talking about the ground being wet in certain areas. And this discussion was talked about early on in the case. I think it might have been Tyler Feller, who was looking at Dylan's farm, his farmland and nearby, saying how certain items have been moved about, some vehicles, in some areas it's wet. Is something being maintained? Is someone doing stuff with the crops or some kind of farm work? What's going on? Do you remember that? Do you? I mean, I just remember briefly hearing of it. I mean, this just looks like a normal puddle to me, just like how we saw in the previous photos. It's just because with it being near this pivot, I thought maybe water might have come from it in some way, though it's not directly underneath it. So, As I said, I'm not a farmer, so I'm not going to know. I'm not an expert. Now, if you look roughly, you can see like a couple of track marks in the ground. I think they are track marks near to the puddle. I think the significance, though, of these photos are just showing more of the land area and not pretending to be Dylan, but walking in his footsteps. Because like how Candice Cooley said, his legacy, so this might be one of the aspects of it, or like a milestone. Maybe not a milestone, a marker, a beacon point, maybe. Final photo, I think. Yeah, just looking all the way down it. And you can see distance it covers. And then what's that on the ground? Is that attached to the pivot or is it loose? I'm not quite sure. It looks loose, laying on the ground, some kind of piping, a long metal rod. Looks to be two of them. Do any of you know what they are? Are they like replacements for this pivot? Spare parts, or is it broken? A few damp patches there, which is closer to the pivot. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it just gives you a little perspective on this area. Have you seen it before or not? Okay, so now we take a step back and we slow down a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is read over a page or two from this forum, looking back at Dylan Rounds to see if there's any key questions, any unanswered ones that need highlighting, any information that's new, never been heard of before, etc. You can feel free to listen along if you want, or listen to it in the background whilst you get on with other things. And as well, you can also chat in the live chat. Main importance, it's there to be used, okay? And also, whilst I'm here, although a bit late, I believe Salty Pancakes is doing a live stream, whether it be right now, earlier on, or later on. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure when, but he's returned. I guess returned from the strike. See what he has to say. See what goes on next, okay? Just wanted to let you know. And as well, just shout out to Salty Pancakes for their presence, obviously, in the last live video premiere of mine. It was good of them to appear and, do what they did. So, appreciate Salty Pancakes, okay? Let's continue on now and just begin reading, right? This is from page number 2. Page 1 we did look at in the past. Now, let me know, would you rather we look for it all in one go or just spread it out over time? Because maybe some of it might be a bit repetitive and you might not like that. So we can either break it down bit by bit, or one day I can just do a dedicated video, get us through as many pages as possible, just for the sake of it, right? It might help. Anyway, let's continue reading. Some of it might not be much, so I might glance over it. Okay, I might skip parts. Okay. What does this say? Unless they really do have somebody in mind, and this is regarding the LE. Saying, oh, they're not taking it seriously. They didn't send the boots in too. Well, at first they didn't. Grandma Bear, we got some little bears, teddy bears, yeah? Do any of you like teddy bears? Will any of you have a tea party with some teddy bears around a table? Yeah? Okay. So the person says, and this is June the 11th, 2022. Interesting timing, because around this time, well, probably a bit before it, is when the whole key fob gun situation emerged. A bit later on, the phone being found in Lucin Pond. So it's interesting looking back at these articles at the time or near to when events unfolded. But these people were completely unaware of it, just like how we were back then. So looking back at the language, looking back at what people were thinking during the unknown times, right? It's interesting to see. So they said, haven't read at the links yet, but read all post. There's a lot of missing here. Nevada is one of 10 states that lets younger people drink with parents. Not saying a parent was with him, but someone may have pretended to be one. 30 miles away is a fair distance to have a bar. You hang out, but if they are known to serve young people, that would explain it, I guess. It is also confusing. First, he worked at a farm, and now he bought Grandpa's farm, but he lives in a camper, I take it. Are Grandma and Grandpa still in/on the homestead? He seemed to be reported or looked for quite quickly. What made them realise he was missing that quickly, and if so, that anything was wrong? Not showing up for chores, maybe? He stayed sometimes in town with the bar, again, if so, then why was it an alert if not heard from right away? And who lives in the town? Is there a relative there or significant other or friend? Or maybe he pulled the camper to town at times to stay in. Well, he could have encountered a stranger at the bar, etc. It sounds like from his loved ones, he frequented this bar and saw friends there. No one came home with him typically. My point is, if he knew the place, owners, etc., has friends who hang out there, they should know more, at least if he left and left alone and when. As said, most of that information, you could argue, is outdated and has been cleared up with time. You know, Dylan not living on the land, moving about from place to place, as Candice Cooley has worded it in recent time, moving about, custom farming in between to make money, and then putting all that money into equipment, resources on his own farm to be able to fund it. You know what I'm saying? I said this information is outdated, but that's why we're going over it, to clear up or just to see if there's anything missed. I'm not saying it is the case, but bars who ignore age laws often ignore closing time laws, etc. as well. Did he even come home the night he was seen there or not until maybe the next day? That's a long drive if under any influence as well. Now, one thing to highlight, Ellen Berg did point out that the bar would be closed most of the time. I think the way it was worded was Ellen Berg said the bar is open almost every day now after Dylan's disappearance. I think I'm correct in saying that. It does make you think, doesn't it? Like, why now? Is it because there's more business to be made exploiting Dylan's disappearance? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. And I think it was worded as Ellen Berg once was in charge of the bar, but no longer. It's Kurt Wadsworth who's in charge. I believe that's the correct way of saying it. Key to me is, how did he get to town and what did he drive there? Was he driving the grain around, or did he take another vehicle or ride with another farmhand or friend, relative, etc.? Also, key is, was it said he was in the bar, or do they have actual proof footage? Not sure it is the type of place to have cameras. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any cameras. I suspect they have a good idea of what happened and slush or who is involved, but that's just a feeling from reading it all, and part of it is there is a lot of basic info there sure seems to be missing. But then I haven't watched any video nor read full articles. This person's a little bit ill-informed. Now, to be honest, I found reading that paragraph or paragraphs more incoherent than Joy Perry. I think this person needs to learn from Joy Perry at this rate. Bloody hell. Now, let's do a quick poll. Do you agree that there is basic information missing from the Dylan Rounds case, or do you think the foundations are already in place? Yes, no? Okay. Anything else? Every pic I see of this kid just exudes the essence of a good kid, and that really gets me on him. That sounded a bit dodgy, that. What's this one? Kimster. It doesn't sound like local jurisdiction took this case very seriously at first. They should have taken that pick-up in, and now there's been all kinds of people in his pickup. Also, what's interesting to me is that his mom said that Nevada jurisdiction is taking over the case, even though He went missing in Utah. Sounds to me like the FBI should be involved. We've gone across state lines at this point. She who must not be named. Fucking hell. There are no restaurants or bars where he lives. If he wants to go and out and eat, that's where he's got to go. Montello doesn't have to be an alcohol motivation. He works on the farm that he bought from Grandpa. He lives in a camper on the property, but not there all the time. Nope. He spoke to Grandma on Saturday and said he would call her back, and that first call was made at 6:51 a.m. He never did. She tried to call him with no luck. Yeah. When she still didn't hear from him on Sunday, she got in touch with Dee to check on Dylan and make sure he didn't have an accident on property or something. So this is just someone coming along, clearing up these loose questions, which is good, on the spot. The links are lacking, but the videos answer a lot of questions through Linda's video. Seems to just repeat what he said in the other two. Linda's video? Linda? What are you doing in the chat? Linda? What videos have you been making? Where are the links, Linda? Linda. Anyway, someone else. This person says, where my parents lived, if you wanted to do nearly anything, it was a 30-minute drive, except if you were going to a church or bar. But it's not nearly the vastly huge rural area. So it's 30 miles okay. Looking at a map, 30 miles might have been the closest anything. It's a very, very desolate rural area. 30 miles, well, when we checked, it was about 26 miles, and you probably could do less distance as well from certain routes. To Montello, I mean. What does the person say? Grandma, okay. Oh god, here we go again. It does sound like if I get a chance watching the videos, would fill in a lot, thanks. Oh god, still talking about drinking, aren't they? I find the likelihood just leans in the direction that he wasn't there to eat as the key reason. I also go by something I read that made it sound from family as if he was somewhat of a regular in there to see his friends, etc. But no way to know, and he well could be a teetotaler. What's a teetotaler? In there for chicken wings and to socialise. Teat. What? He wants teats. What? A teat? Wait, does teetotaler mean not alcohol? Teetotal? Oh, I don't know. Never heard of a teetotaler. Teetotaler. Teats. I don't know. Oops. The reason for wondering more about it has to do with a bar that is breaking the rules. Oh my god, we're fucking talking about the bar still. Fucking hell, it sounds like you need a drink yourself. Head on to Saddle Sore Bar now. Was he eating with friends at a table, less likely to engage with a stranger, or bellied up to bar drinking alone? Well, I also just wonder about the layout of the farm. If they have more than one location, farm residence, etc. Meaning, was his camper just outside from the main residence? And, oh, do you know, I'm getting bored of this. Looking around maps, it does appear that Montello is the closest. Yep. Very few roads, no services of any type, not even a gas station. Ghost town to do with Lucin. It could be there is such a desolate area. If any did exist, they could have went under. The MI up is like that, but you can find some off the main route. Oh, talking about the bar. Stop talking about the bar. We'll probably end up going to a bar shortly on the bloody match. I think we probably will do at this rate. That town is closest town. Lucin today. Except for the intermittent, more permanent since 2008, presence of Ivo, one of the 4 property owners, an avid solitary explorer, and his Ivo Prop Corp research and development activities. Lucin is a ghost town. As of 2016, the most prominent town features are a recent airplane hangar, doubling as a residence and workshop, and adjacent unpaved landing strip, along with several smaller separate utility buildings, water, fuel, telecommunications, power. And as we know, that Lucin airplane hangar is owned by Ivor Zardovsky. What's this one about? Grandma says that would make sure operating a farm hard and having supplies day to day hard unless they have their own fuel tank on the property, which some farmers do or used to anyway. Just banking, gas, groceries, and yes, things like beer and smoking, if any have those habits, would be very difficult to keep in stock. Add to it that internet is still not ideal in some remote places and delivery takes some time too. And with the price of gas, a 60-mile round trip with a truck is going to use a lot of fuel, and it is air conditioning season on top of it. Again, just trying to get the picture of the circumstances. Starting to watch Linda and hope to see the other videos if I can get to them to fill in some of what I don't know. Already in the first minutes, I know it's 640 acres. She says he and grandpa own, and that's it. It's the third year of farming. Third year. He is only 19, so my guess is he has been here the last few summers. How long has grandpa owned the farm? Has it been in the family? I wonder for generations, or is it more recent? Because she says all told him he couldn't grow crops in this land area. Oops, low battery. But he's managing, and this leads me to know, did the farm make an income prior to now? Is it a crop to farm, dairy cattle? We know he's trying to grow grain and crops, but that makes it sound like that is relatively new or something he has been trying to do. Well, it is new because you think after Dylan's disappearance, that's when you start seeing the first crops, first growth, but still developing. So before all that, even leading up to just about 6 weeks before Dylan's disappearance, Dylan was custom farming and still doing so to make money and then to put it into his own farm. More equipment, more resources, seeds, whatever it may be, as described by Candice. So I don't think Dylan's farm was making any money or much at all at the time before Dylan going missing. We'll do it as a poll right now if you know. Was Dylan's farm making any money or not? And I'm talking about before Dylan going missing, right? Right, how far are we off here? Nearly there. Whew. What's this one? And of the few people that not... Oh, the fucking... I can't understand this person. And of the few people, the not that old town has ever had the key. One was a young Eastern Bloc defector who comes to be there. Doesn't sound like the town was ever much of anything and has no residents in the past year's decade as well. Nor was it ever known for lunch of anything, just built for railroad purposes, water supply. Interesting. His mother does remark on... What? His mother does remark on meth and drug types in abounding in the area, doesn't she? I'll know more after watching the videos or two. Sounds basically unpopulated on one hand. Person replies back, meth seems to be in all rural areas. It's really bad in the rural areas here. Moreso, then here. Oh, I thought that was the name of a bloody town in the US. Moreso. This Pratt didn't put a space in, I think. Or did you just put like a little break? Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm spazzing out. More so, not Moreso. More so than here in the city. From what I see, especially if you look at percentages of people on it, my theory is that it's partially caused by that there is absolutely nothing else to do. He just seems to be a good kid, just trying to live his life by working hard. Hopefully somebody also checked his bank records. Yes, they did, and they didn't find any other changes. Yes, nothing to do, contribute to drugs, alcohol, or even teen pregnancy. Many theorise meth motherfuckers. Though two still have to get their supplies somewhere and live somewhere. I would guess and tag off paycheck on a Friday. Sit in the bank in town. Well, talk about checks and stuff. He did cash it in quite, quick. So Linda looked at the crime statistics for Montello. Montello has 59 citizens and yet gets an F for crime. Okay. This is referring to that very dodgy website I went on, which said Montello has a very small population and there's only a certain amount of crime. It's outdated. It's shit statistics. I don't think it's an accurate website, and you'll know which one I'm talking about, right? Jim Terry said there was about 200 and something people in town. I think Doug said the same thing. So, yeah, there is more than that. As for true crime stats, it doesn't seem to be listed much accurately or up to date. Not a surprise. You think of the area. Not all crime is reported, recorded, or captured. Police, if there's some distance away, are they going to go all that distance just to get there? Probably not always. The person saying, it sounds like Dylan went missing from the farm area and hadn't been seen in Montello since that Thursday. Well, it was Thursday/Friday. What does this person say? And in fact, it had been said Friday, but apparently that was incorrect. It was Thursday. His phone was pinging around the farm area and a call was made to his grandma. That was Saturday. God, this person is confused. What are they called? Deputized emu slayer horse thief hunter. Oh my God. Horse thief hunter. No way, man. Oh my God, I need to get off this soon, man. What's this? Person says bank transactions confirmed Dylan was in Montello on Thursday. Getting the gas. Witnesses report that Dylan was also there on Friday. The family is moving forward with the Friday date. Saturday is the day he made a phone call from his farm. Well, it wasn't from his farm there, and the last phone ping was from that area. Not quite, no, because it's nearer to the pond, which isn't on Dylan's farm. And as well, when he made that phone call to the grandmother, it wasn't from his farm. It was on the dirt road in which land he doesn't own, approaching the grain shed 5 miles away from his farm. So, yeah, correct that. What else is going on? There we go. I think we'll leave it there.
Okay, so why does the lighting make me look like a vampire all of a sudden? It might be different when replaying the video, but I look like a vampire in my own reflection. That's kind of a contradiction. That's like a Candice Cooley contradiction. If I'm a vampire, how can I see my reflection? Because I'm a fake vampire. I'm a fake ass bitch. Yeah. No, but to be honest, reading that forum, and that was only one page, right? There's like 23, 22 more pages left. Oh no. If I have to read any more incoherent text, I'm going to have a meltdown, okay? Maybe I might dedicate a video one day. Maybe I might even title it in a peculiar way and call it Torture Time for Warlike Wrath. Torture myself trying to read through it all and try not fall asleep at the same time. Did any of you feel sleepy just then when I was reading that forum out? Because I felt like I was going to fall asleep. Fuck me. Now, with that grandma being very obsessed about the bar and alcohol, and then constant references to Linda and her videos, well, I think just as a brief one, as a little gift to you, we're just going to look at a random bar right now on Google Earth and finish ourselves off, okay?
So, placing aside the Dylan Rounds case, it's time to look at a random bar. Is there any ones you want to look at? We got Prohibition, we got Jackalope Lounge, we got Redwood Lounge, we got Tap Room, sounds a bit dodgy. We got Barbary Coast Saloon and a bar named Sue. Oh, Sue. I'm sure there's been a Sue that showed up in the live chat at one point. Okay. Good Spirits Bar and Grill. We got Bar X. That definitely sounds a little dodgy. We got Alibi Bar and Baris. Okay. Let's do Bar X. Sounds a bit dodgy. Oh, yes. Look at it's Bar X. Oh, my God. It's Mr. X. Mr. X has got his own cocktail bar. My God, look at the fancy neon lights. Yeah. Yeah, look at them. They're definitely ready. No bikers here, just little pedal bikes. Yeah. Is everybody ready to go in and get a drink? Linda, looks like you need a top up. Don't worry, you're in the right place. Weedleby, are you ready as well? Christy, are you ready too? Andrew Culver, you ready to get another Frosted Rattler, right? Misty. I know Misty. Okay, it's not the best place, but I'm sure they sell some pure mineral water. Okay? For your pure soul. I'm sure there is water available inside. Don't worry. Fame is up. Are you ready? Of course you're ready. You're already inside. Bloody hell. Anyone else? I'm trying to think of people's names on the spot. Ooh. Right. Just remembered. Awesome Destroyer said I've got to try and do James Bond. An impression of James Bond. I mean, there's several James Bonds, isn't there? You just do a British accent as like a posh one. Hello, my name is James Bond. Join me in this cocktail lounge, and I can show you the drinks I have. You know, but James Bond, there's all different ones, isn't there? Anyway, yes, for tonight, it's 007 License to Get Pissed. Okay, join me as we down our first drink. Very smooth, very fine. Just hits the spot, right? Hits the spot just like when I fire my gun to take out someone. Very smooth, the flow, just like their blood trickling. I sound more like a psychopath version of James Bond. Ooh, maybe. Awesome Destroyer. This is a work in progress. Okay, there you go. Ticked off the list. Yeah, come on, girls. How many shots can you take? Who's going to challenge one another? Who's going to claim to be the baddest drinker in this group right now? Who's taking the first shot? Come on, step up. Don't be shy. Come on. Finish it in one whole go. I bet the chat's going to get very wild shortly after going through these images. Yeah. Okay, straight to the bar. Pick your choice right now. Mr. X is stood there. Well, he's hiding behind the desk, shimmering and shaking his cocktail mixes and bottles all over the place. Stop dropping him on the floor. Don't break any. So, who's having their first orders? What are people going to have? Me? Well, I have no fucking clue the names of the drinks because I'm not an alcoholic, I promise. I know people have said, oh, whoa, Wallach Raph, look how wild he gets in these videos. That's what the concerning thing is. I do it all without any substances or anything whatsoever. So just imagine if I did. How much more wild things could possibly get. Oh my God, it's dreadful to think, right? Yeah, right? Anyway, get your drinks in right now. Because it looks like the stocks are going down because some of the bottles are nearly empty. Famous up, are you behind there drinking away? My God, you've got work tomorrow. Sorry. I just wanted to have the liquid. I really like the flavors. Sorry, I'll be good. I won't get too drunk. No, it'll be fine. Don't worry. Okay, well, you better be telling the truth. Let's get into the next image. Oh, look, we've got someone in action making them as you go along. Are they some oranges or lemons? Fucking Nella, where are you, Nella? Whoa, you're making your own drinks? You're putting in pineapple? Some alcoholic pineapple drink? You go, girl. You know exactly what you're doing. You know your direction in life. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Oh no, Weedleby, what's that? You've broken your glasses, you've had too many beers, you've fallen over, and you've landed on your glasses. Well done. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? Don't worry, sit down, have another drink. There you go. Gulp that down, okay? Fucking hell, Andrew Culver in the fucking corner, having a fucking dispute with a koala and a kangaroo, mate. Calm down, Andrew. What are you doing down there, man? Just drink your fucking alcohol. Stop starting all the fights, mate. Glitter Galaxy. She's just simply sitting there peacefully, just gently sipping on a drink, wondering, oh, will I ever fix my door hinges? They still keep creaking like the mice and rats echoed by Linda's voice in the chat. Don't worry. Why not take some of that alcohol home, Glitter Galaxy? Get some of that alcohol and just pour it on the fucking hinges. You know, maybe your door hinges are having alcohol withdrawal effects like Brenna is. It can take a toll on you. Yeah? Okay. So, that aside, Indiana. Or should I call you Indiana? Indiana? Hallelujah, I'm saying your name correct, yeah? Yeah, you're smiling. You're jumping on the bed in happiness, celebrating. Yeah, Indiana? Okay. Okay, so it looks like we're right outside of the bar now. I think this person's had enough. They might be drunk whilst taking the photo. Don't walk across the road. You might get hit by a car. Oh, no. What's that over there? Bar X next to Beer Man. Beer bar, sorry. Oh, we're back inside. Oh, wait, this is a different one. We're in a different bar now, man. Forget about Saddle Sword. This one's better. We got snooker tables. And we got 2 of them. Where's the slots machines, man? Is that Johnny Cash? What are you doing over there? Yeah, look at these bar stools. Great condition, man. Really good. Are they tattoos? I don't know. What's going on here? We've got some boxing match going on. Who is that? I don't know who's boxing there. Yeah, come on. Let's get going. Oh, more alcohol. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube approves of this. Not really. Don't worry, YouTube. Don't worry, YouTube. This is a highly educational video teaching people to drink responsibly and to stop, when it gets too much, to keep it controlled and to, keep things safe, because that's what this channel is all about, raising awareness for people's safety. Whoa, what's going on here? Whoa. This looks a bit, dodgy in a way. Is this like some kind of dungeon? It looks like some medieval banquet. What's going on here? You're going to start bringing out the hog roast with an apple shoved in its mouth. My God. Wondered where it came from. Kurt's farm. I don't even think I'm going to trust that pig. You see that pig? It's stuffed, the hog roast. I wouldn't be surprised if I cut it open, took a piece out and bit on it. I'll be choking on the fucking key fob, which Kurt Wadsworth possibly stole from Dylan's vehicle, shoved it in a pig. The pig died because it couldn't fucking breathe with a massive key fob rubbed down its throat. Now I'm choking on a stuffed key fob pig, man. My God. I ain't gonna be doing that no more. And what's with that door anyway? That looks a bit secure, that. Yeah. Oh, yes. What's his little naughty satanic drink or something? Any Bloody Marys? Any, I don't know, Day of the Dead drinks? Oh. Yeah. I mean, is there any, naughty named drinks? Oh, God, that just sounds so cringy, that. Fuck that. Oh. Oh, we're getting red. We're getting dark. Yeah. That's my blood. You want to drink my blood? Yeah, it's rich. Very rich. Can you handle it? Can you take a shot? Can you take the whole bottle? You gonna try for me? Good behaviour? Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Joseph or Maria or someone else that doesn't show up. Well, tough shit, you're not coming to the bar tonight. You're missing out on the alcohol. So sorry. I'll stop advertising the bars. Why is there no, what have they done there? Why have they put... Oh, no, what's gone on here? Oh, I thought it was like a prank or something. But why put an A instead of an E? Bear bar. Oh, I see, because it's to do with gay pride. And instead of putting bear, they put bear because they think bear is strong, rough and hairy like a man. Oh, yeah, let's get together. Oh, like that. Bit gay, bit unnecessary, bit shoved down our throats. Not really necessary. Okay. RSL bus is back. No, I don't want to get on the bus. Maybe Famous Op does when she spawns into the fucking map of Fortnite. Okay. Oh, look at that image. Bit of a ambient one. You walk in. You walk through the curtains. Oh, and there's James Bond at the bar on a stool, drinking a cocktail. Would you like to join him? Would you like to listen to his stories of all his missions and expeditions he's been on? Oh my god, what's going on here? Guess this is the names of some of them. Pim's Cup, London Dry Gin, Ginger Beer, Lemon Juice, Angostura Bitters. Oh, shit names, to be honest. Could have come up with better ones. What about Warlike Spirit? Alcohol Wrath. I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna finish that whole bottle for me? Yeah? Whoa, look at you go. Amazing. Got some more beer there, mate. Fucking drink it down. Why not? Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. I know what they've done here because it's once again to do with pride. Instead of saying cocktails, they've shortened the word to that. Oh my god. You're such a naughty little boy. Yeah. Instead of saying cocktails, you're going to say cock. That's a very... do you know what? I'm glad that's the last image because I was getting a bit confused at that point. The red door. You want to go to the red door? Yeah. Yeah. You want these drinks? Yeah. Yeah, you want it? Yeah. Really? Hello, my name's Sanjeev. I'm enjoying a nice little cocktail. It's very, very good. But I've got to say that the savage is a bloody shambles. Not really good at all. Oh my god, I gotta get out of here. This fucking cocktail says menu. That QR code is to Jim Terry's Cash App. Not falling for it, man. I'm getting out right now. I've had enough of this.
Okay, so I think that will do. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, the update, and that little cocktail bar tour. As said, make sure to check out my community tab page, as I've listed a question saying, what places would you like me to check next on Google Earth? Whether it's something mysterious, interesting, or very dodgy, or maybe naughty. Okay, list it, why not? And then I might take a look and stuff, just like how we did recently with some bits and bobs, right? As for the Dylan Rounds, Candice Cooley situation, what comes first? Candice Cooley's update or one of my videos? Most likely one of my videos. Next one likely will be revisiting the map, Dylan's truck, distance 65 miles, reviewing it, changing it slightly and just adjusting it, okay? And then after that, or if for some reason before that, we'll see if Candice Cooley has said anything else and see what's talked about next, okay? So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Good night for now, goodbye.